Hey everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video, I'll explain in a second, we're doing a theory video for SADNANSI. And I know you're about to say, Hayes, we all know you haven't seen it, but we all have. Just because you have to go to work doesn't mean the rest of us have to. I know. However, when I made my video yesterday saying like, hey, yeah, the episode released, sorry, I didn't realise RTS even had it, ooh, oops, okay. Then the complete opposite of gloom. They just released it without telling anyone. So in my comments I was like, well, the planned video was a theory video. I'm not really sure what to do instead. No video tomorrow, whoops, sorry, bye. A lot of you were still intrigued to see my theory video, knowing what you already know about the episode since you've already seen it. I have no idea how well this video will do, because again, you have all already seen it. But I thought it'd be fun, although that being said, I'm not going to reply to the comments until after I've seen the episode. So, if you're wondering why I'm very inactive in this comment section, it's because I don't want the episode to be spoiled for me. So for me, I feel like this episode, from everything we've seen, and I say everything, I mean the spoilers, not the actual episode, is going to be kind of split into three parts. There's stuff going on directly with Nora and the Akuma, the stuff with Adrien, and the stuff with Alia. And we're going to start with Nora. And honestly, I pretty much stand by everything I said in my trailer analysis video. Often those times I do get a lot of things wrong because often my trailer analysis is a first reaction to the trailer, kind of. I've only maybe seen it 3 times before I sit down and make the video. However, I haven't really changed my mind on the Nora stuff. It seems that Nora likes Twig, and in my opinion, I really do think Twig likes Nora back. Just look at the way they are looking at her here. Absolutely, I'm autistic and this is a look of love. However, Marinette, during her game, maybe, I'm not sure if it's a game, messes things up. So what is written on Nora's paper? I'm not 110% sure, however, I know Nora's not very good with emotions, so Marinette is maybe just telling Nora to confess her feelings for Twig outright, kind of a bit like what she did with Adrien. However, Marinette, even though she does stutter, she is good at talking about her emotions, whereas Nora isn't really. So perhaps Nora's like, well, I can't really do that. It's not going to happen between us, which makes her sad, which gets her akumatized. However, one thing I didn't say in my trailer analysis was about Nora's spit. Stick with me here. So I did rewatch the Akuma fight from the original Anansi, and she does spit things out, however they just seem to be webs that she's spitting. She has no, I don't know the correct term for it, but no thing for the webs to come out otherwise, like an actual spider, so she just spits them out. So it seems this time, I think the spit, if she hits you with it, would kind of control you. We see a couple of shots from earlier in another teaser we got from TF1 of these kind of well, they look like regular people, but their stance, they kind of look a bit like zombies. So I think she has some sort of mind-controlling spider spit. Oh, I can't wait. Overall, though, I definitely do think it's going to be quite a difficult fight, so I am quite excited to see how Ladybug manages to win this, because right now I'm really not sure. I don't think we've seen anything from the end of the Akuma fight. I think the Adrien stuff happens afterwards, but isn't directly linked to the Akuma, so I am intrigued to see what's going to go down. I do definitely think it's possible that Nora could break free of the Akuma herself, or a bit like in Furious Fu, one of them goes to fetch Twig to help Nora break out of the Akuma. That sort of thing, the same way they got Marianne in Furious Fu. So moving on to the Adrien. And whilst I can't wait to see Anansi again, she scares me to death. I don't like spiders and I don't like extra limbs. 6 arms? No thank you. I am very intrigued by the Adrien, and we don't have a lot to go on. However, I know a lot of people, when they're playing the game in the cafeteria, are saying that the letter Adrien gets out of the hat is the letter from his dad. And I have absolutely no proof, but I just have to disagree. It's locked away in the yo-yo. Marinette seems to be writing these notes by hand. I know she comes across as a bit silly sometimes, but she would have to be the most stupid person on earth to accidentally transform as Ladybug, take it out of the yo-yo and put it in the hat. You know what I mean? He does, in my opinion, read something upsetting, but do you think if he read that letter he'd be able to function during the Akuma fight? I don't think so. I don't know what Marinette wrote on the paper he gets out, but I don't think it was the letter from El Toro de Piedra. Can you imagine? She's just like, oh yeah, by the way, Adrien, you're actually a sentiment, and he was like, oh. Thanks. So it is something sad, but it's obviously not that negative, because as we saw in Heart Fixer, whilst Adrien can hold some things in for a bit, he can't hold it in for forever. And I'm also wondering if this screenshot is finally relevant. If you remember in Lady Chaos, Adrien asks Marinette to draw a new portrait of his dad. Now Adrien thinks he knows what his dad was really like, and Marinette agrees. She's like, I did wonder if it was going to be in Heart Fixer. Didn't end up being in Heart Fixer. So out of the episodes we know that are completed are of course SADNANSI and Regina Lazione. So I feel, since Regina seems a bit more of a Marinette family episode rather than an Adrien episode, I feel like it could be from this one. So perhaps Adrien keeps being like, hey, where's this portrait? You know, you promised it me. How long is it taking? I know you're good at this. Why is it taking you so long? And perhaps Marinette, you know, promises it him by the end of the day. However, it definitely does seem that Marinette does tell Adrien something. So after all the Akuma is done, so basically the way the timeline of this episode works, cafeteria first, you can see it's daytime, Akuma fight, you can see it's evening, Adrien at nighttime. So unless it's a flashback, I think it comes at the end. So Marinette is like, I finally need to tell him, I need to talk to him. She breaks down, she starts crying, he looks sad. However, I don't think Marinette tells him the whole truth. What I think she could tell him is something that makes it difficult for her to draw this picture. For example, the way Gavy Baby treated her in Pretension. Adrien doesn't know about it. He was sent out of the room, which he was weirded out by, but he doesn't actually know what happened. So perhaps Marinette is like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm unable to draw this picture for you, because even though you found this out about your dad, I can't do that. So I feel like she could tell Adrien something that means she no longer has to draw this horrific portrait, but also puts that seed of doubt back in his mind. In my opinion, at the end of Lady Chaos, Adrien does seem to be like on board that, hey, yeah, my dad was actually a good person, he just wasn't a good person around me. So I think by the end of this episode he'll be like, okay, there's something a bit more going on here, and he's going to try and investigate a bit further. And then finally we move into the Alia stuff. And I definitely think the scene of her sat in her bedroom as Rena Rouge happens after the Akuma fight. I just don't think there's going to be enough time to do it before Nora's Akuma. However, this shot during the Akuma is really, really interesting, and it shows Marinette's complete and utter loss of confidence in her abilities. Alia, as we know, she's always there for Marinette. She's amazing, she's brilliant, love her to death. She wants to help Marinette, but Marinette obviously can't tell her the truth, especially if this is set after a Velator, which right now I'm just assuming it is. I don't know for sure. And if it is, Marinette knows she can't tell Alia what's going on. So I think maybe Alia, and I honestly think this is a great way to piece things out, cast an illusion of the final battle from Recreation to try and work out what's possibly going on or what happened in the first place. If she kind of manages to make out of Marinette that it was something to do with that. Maybe. Possibly. That's a bit of a jump, but I agree. I don't have any concrete evidence for that. I'm just trying to link together Alia in her room as Rena Rouge when it's seemingly unnecessary, and her imagining what happened in Recreation. But overall, in terms of Adrien and Alia, I don't think in this episode it's going to end with them knowing everything, like knowing 100%, but I think they're going to know something, and if not something, they're going to both be very suspicious by the end of the episode. So anyway, there you go, that's what I think happened. Please tell me how wrong or right I was. Give me a score out of 10. How accurate was I? And I'll come back on Wednesday after I've watched the episode and roast myself in a pinned comment. Anyway, besties, I'd love to know what you think of this. I hope you all enjoy the episode, and I will see you in the next one.